Good morning. My name is Carly Stern, and I want to thank the Senior Class Council for inviting me to speak today. We all came to Duke with a hunger. This hunger convinced us that we were worthy of a spot at this university, that we could thrive amongst the country's best and brightest. When we set foot on campus for the first time, we saw a student body that was passionate, full of people who couldn't wait to tell you what they care about. Throughout these years at Duke, we have been encouraged to find the things that feed us. Duke has granted us the privilege of time, along with an abundance of opportunities, to figure out exactly what we are hungry for. We've traveled across the world, pursued research, played on teams, created art, and led organizations. And as we searched for experiences to which we can meaningfully contribute, we also sought to identify ones that energized us in return. For many of us, this meant losing our voices in Cameron, covered in blue body paint. Others ventured beyond the pines of the Duke Forest to explore the city of Durham. Some traveled to foreign countries, where we learned lessons about friendship that our textbooks couldn't teach us. We have been stimulated by the people we met whose backgrounds and beliefs were different from our own, the ones who challenged our worldviews, broadened our minds, and never let us off the hook easy. But we have also been fueled by finding the people who complete the missing puzzle piece of our identities, the friends who seem like the mirror of our souls, who help us grow by understanding the subtle cracks and crevices that make us who we are. We are hungry for this kind of love, too. Developing our taste has taken trial and error. We've taken a few classes that we hated, joined some clubs that we quit, and pursued internships that turned out to be different than what we had imagined. Each experience provided greater context about what motivates us, helping us to understand the kind of life we want to create for ourselves beyond this Gothic wonderland. And Duke has taught us to cultivate our appetites. It is easy to get swept up in the idea of what we can do and who we can be. In 1984, Terry Sanford called for the university to have outrageous ambitions. Our professors and mentors, friends and families, have spent years propelling us forward, making us believe that any bold success is within our reach. But we can quickly become captive to our ever-growing aspirations. Once we know the points we can score on an exam, how many people we can help, or the furthest distance that we can run, we expect ourselves to get there. It can be difficult to feel gratified by our accomplishments when we're working for causes without a concrete end. Whenever my roommate and I complete a Habitat for Humanity build, we know that there are other families that need a home. As a group of students and I devised a new voter registration policy for North Carolina, we had to leave certain benefits on the table. There will always be technology to be enhanced, funds to be raised, and more research to be conducted. But Duke students like to check off tasks from our to-do list so we can careen off to the next challenge. Whether this means wrapping up a Bass Connections project by the year's end, scaling a club before passing it on to a new leader, or waiting for LDOC to celebrate a semester's worth of studies, we seek experiences that make us feel complete. And after our hard work, it's natural for us to hope that the satisfaction will linger. We have drilled away for hours during all hours of the night on our problem sets, dedicated a whole year to that senior thesis, and spent multiple summers honing a skill set. Yet once we arrive at these imagined endpoints, sometimes we wonder why we don't feel fulfilled. But is being fulfilled once and for all really our true goal? Is this feeling even possible? Is it what we should want? When time passes after a meal, even a delicious one, we become hungry again. We could never curb our appetites, nor could we fully satiate them. This cycle is part of being human. Likewise, Duke students could never stop being hungry, and we shouldn't try to. It is what makes us excited to wake up in the morning. It is what will help us create new frameworks and break down barriers. It is what will compel us to bring good into the world once we leave here. Our milestones are not ends, but we deserve to pause and recognize them, to simply sit in them and feel present, to dare to love them as they are and not think about what they must become next. These moments of grace create the chance for us to consider what it was that fed us, so that we can recreate these experiences wherever we are. And the more intimately we understand ourselves, the clearer this task becomes. Nan Cohan, Duke's only female president, once said that the biggest, most important moments of college, the events and relationships that help define who you are as a person, can almost never be predicted in advance and rarely appear on your resume. They may include a sudden awareness that you had understood something for the first time, the moment when you felt responsible for what you knew was true, or an uncomfortable epiphany when a lifelong prejudice was shaken. Those moments may include falling in love, making a friend, finding your voice, feeling empowered. I think about the moments throughout college in which I felt truly full. My mind jumps to wandering through cobblestone streets in Rome, whose histories were much older than mine. I think of my friend's host mother welcoming me into her home for a weekend visit in Madrid, of runs through the Albular Trail filled with hills and meandering conversations. I think of the confidence I feel after walking out of a challenging class discussion, knowing that I held my own. The way my heart swells when friends from my freshman hall gather around one dinner table, years after we sat together at Marketplace. Long talks on Saturday mornings, always at Bull Street, where my roommate and I unpack the things that we hoped for. I used to expect those moments of contentment to remain, and I found myself disappointed when they didn't. I didn't enjoy the compulsion I felt to keep moving. I'd hoped to preserve this peace and to remain still within it. But Duke has shown me that the attainment of a goal is not the same as the completion of a journey. Attainment is touching something only to know what it is like before it leaves swiftly again. Once we know that this thing is real, we become confident that we'll be able to find it. If we curbed our insatiable ambition, we would lose what makes us feel alive. But it is important that we celebrate our small wins each day, and that we take agency to cherish these times of satisfaction while they linger. Today, we stand within a moment of fullness. We should soak in this moment, brimming with the sense of pride that we have earned. Otherwise, we might forget why it is that we keep pushing, or why we even did in the first place. Duke has given us a platform to grow and achieve, but now we hold the power to create our own momentum. In just a few days, we will start fresh and begin again. My hope is that we will continue to strive for the pursuits that energize our souls. My hope is that we carry memories both of yearning and fulfillment with us, cultivating our ambitions with the same tenacity in the world beyond Duke's walls. My hope is that we remember that we are equipped for these challenges in every new place that we enter, so long as we remain willing to love and lose, reach and fall, live and learn. We celebrate today, remembering the toil that got us here, along with the deep joy. It is this joy that we should continue to chase. On Monday, we will feel hungry again. This desire is the fire that drives us, pushing us to find meaning as we jump into new environments and passions, goals and dreams. And onward we move. Thank you.